Good day. Welcome back to the podcast. Catch it, a new perception. My name is Katuk. I encourage you to be able to share this with people if you appreciate it. Please share it with people that you think may be like-minded or people that can appreciate it themselves. Please subscribe, like, share whenever possible. To wrap up this theme that we've been with so far this season, over the last month, of dreams. I say to wrap it up because I've talked about a couple different types over the last couple weeks. I've talked about the idea of a dream when you sleep, a dream in the sense of a vision, and now I think about a dream, as in like fantasizing, a dream when you're awake, your daily thoughts. How much do you dream and how much do you make them come true? Are they only a dream? Are they a fantasy because they'll never be anything more than a dream? Or is a dream something that you walk towards and you make happen? Is it fantasy or is it a dream? Is it reality waiting to happen because you're going to take the actions that it takes to make the dream come true? Now, an example I used a couple of episodes ago, I believe I was talking a little bit about maybe a higher education. And yes, I have a little, what might be referred to as like trade school type of education. I've had some other things that I've been able to do. And I didn't have much of a dream. I thought about it. I went and did it and I accomplished it. It was just there in front of me. Just made a decision and went and did it. Some people might have an idea of higher education from the time for years, maybe even a decade. They think, oh, I'm going to go on to further education after high school type years, get into some type of college, maybe a junior college, maybe a major university, maybe a med school, law school. Who knows what might be out there? All kinds of different education. Most people, I think, have a dream about that. They want to go to a trade school. And they think about it for a couple years prior to and say, well, if I set myself up, I could have a trade within a short period of time. I could make a decent living for myself. This is what I want to do. So you have the dream. You take the steps towards it, whether it's to set up financing or whatever that might be to be able to further your education, and then you walk towards it. Some people accomplish it, some people don't. Some people decide in the middle of it, it's not for me. Some people decide, I want to go a different direction. I thought I wanted to do this, and I don't think I do. I want to go a different direction. That's part of the same extended dream. If someone chooses to walk away from it, it's part of the same extended dream. Is this more fantasy than dream? These words are interchangeable at this point. If you prefer one over the other, great. If you prefer to use different terminology rather than a dream or fantasy, use whatever terminology that fits for you in this situation. Like everything else in life, find what fits for you, utilize it, walk with it. This idea of having a dream might be a job. I talk about a further education. What about a particular job? You have a dream that you might one day be able to do something. And you take an apprenticeship to be able to work towards it so that you can become a journeyman, for example. Well, that would be some type of dream. That would be a dream that I could actually do more than be an apprentice. I could actually, I'll work as a paid apprentice. I'll be able to do this. I'll do an internship as I get a couple years into my school, and it might be a paid internship. It might be a volunteer internship. I'll do something to be able to further this to allow my dream to come true. You finish the apprenticeship, you finish the internship, you finish whatever that is, and continue to walk towards your dream. Is it fantasy? Not in most people's eyes. I use that term because it was gifted to me a short time ago, having a conversation with a friend of mine, and it made sense what he was saying. He's like, oh, you're talking fantasy. And I'm thinking, no, I'm talking dream. And you use the terms you like. If you think this is fantasy, I don't. What about wanting to move somewhere, live somewhere else? Now, for some people, they want to escape something. They want to get away from something. Something's too much or something's not enough. And often that's something internal and we think it's external. So making that, what I've heard people use is the term geographical escape, may not be advantageous. It may not work the way that you think it will. So we find a way to be able to make other changes when we're going to make that move. Say, for example, I'm going to retire from my job. I decide I want to move maybe a long ways away, maybe to some different climate, just make a geographical change. I've thought about this. It's not really a dream yet. It's not a vision. It's not a fantasy. It's not any of that. Thought about it. It may be somewhat of a fantasy type dream because that's specifically what I'm talking about. So the idea of moving somewhere sounds cool. One of the first things that I thought of is how much would I need to and how much would I desire to change so much of my life at that point. I don't want to live the same way that I'm living today. Now, do I want to meet in certain sacred circles? Do I want to continue to do the podcast? Do I want to be able to, are there certain things in my life that work for me that I would like to continue to do, even if I made some type of geographical move to a different climate as I retire from where I'm working? Yes, there are certain things I would like to take with me. And I truly believe there would be more changes. So if I prepare for the idea that there's going to be more changes than there are similarities in this move, I could change all kinds of things in my life for the better, rather than believing that things are going to be a lot the same when there's no way they could be the same. What does a dream look like? Can you envision most everything? Of course, we can't envision everything. Most everything. Can you envision how different it would be? So I want to walk into that with the idea that I want things to be different because they're going to be. Either that or I fight against it and then I wonder why this dream isn't really what I thought it would be. Or I walk into it saying, everything's going to be so different. So many things in my life are going to be different. I need some consistency here, and I would like some consistency here, and I'd like to continue to do this. And when I awake each morning, I'm going to do this differently. And I'm going to go do this. And I'm not going to participate in that. And I'm going to leave certain things behind. That is how a vision, a dream, a fantasy comes true, is through action. So when it comes to this type of dream, it's no different than a dream when I sleep or a dream through a vision, is I need to take action to be able to accomplish something, to accomplish everything. There has to be an action behind it. Now, how positive is that action going to be in my life? Is it something I want to encompass long term? Is it something I'd like to work towards? Is the dream to have this whatever this retirement from this job looks like. Is the dream to have this my entire life, or just for a period of time, maybe a decade or two? Maybe when I get late in life, I'll choose, I don't really need this. I think I'm going to do something different again and create another new dream. Just because it's a dream that I want to walk into and a dream that I want in my life, and the fantasy that I have, I can make real so it's not fantasy and it's part of a dream. So if I want to do this, I must take action towards it and be open-minded that it could change. Just because we have a dream, does that mean we can't have another dream? When we dream something and we make a decision that we're going to walk towards it and we're taking action towards it, can we change in the middle? Because we decided that maybe we don't want to work this hard for the dream. What about having your own business? Did you ever dream about having your own business? Being your own boss? Now, I've probably mentioned this in maybe more than one episode. The idea of getting into business for yourself, you can either talk yourself into or talk yourself out of. You'll tell yourself how you're going to succeed and how it's going to work, and this is what you're going to do, and then you'll walk towards it and you'll go do it. Or you'll say, well, I don't know that I can do this. That seems like a lot of work, and oh, I'm going to be accountable to myself, and I don't think I can, and I don't think I will, and then I don't, and you won't. Or I can, and I will, and then you will. This is the whole essence of the dream. You will either talk yourself into it, or you will talk yourself out of it. Whether it's a dream when you sleep, whether it's a dream of vision, or a dream of fantasy. You have the ability to be able to make this. What you tell yourself will be important because your thinking will dictate how you feel. Tell yourself the truth. Tell yourself how it's going to work. It's going to take some work. I'm going to have to put a lot of work into it, and it's not going to be that difficult. It's not going to be that easy. To find the balance within that is the key essential thing for me in this lifetime. To tell myself it's not going to be that hard. To tell myself I can't just breeze through it, I have to do the work. To find that balance. The dream comes true. Within the balance of life, we have everything. Everything is offered to us. Everything is gifted to us. We must take the action towards it. This Great Spirit will do everything for us we cannot do for ourselves. This Great Spirit that we believe in will not do for us what we can do for ourselves. There's going to be footwork that we need to do to allow the dream to come true. You want the dream to come true, you do the footwork, and then that great mystery will do everything for you. The Creator will come to you in ways you could not imagine, will do for you everything you cannot do for yourself, when you do all the work that you need to do to make your dreams come true. Looking forward to next time. Live in harmony with and use the bounty of the land to bring kindness to the world. Doksha, okay.